Start off with the sinking of a passenger ferry off the southwestern coast of Korea earlier on Wednesday.
There were over 460 people on board, about 320 of which were students traveling with several teachers to the resort island of Jeju. The Coast Guard has confirmed at least 4 deaths so far. And we have our Park Ji-won in the studio to give us more details about the accident. Ji-won?
Hi, the Saewol-ho ferry started to sink at around 9 a.m. this morning, some 20 kilometers off the coast of Jindo Island in southwestern Korea. At least 4 people have been confirmed dead so far, including a ferry employee Park Ji-young in her 20s and a male high schooler who was on board because of the school trip, and 2 others who have not yet been identified. So far, the number of people rescued stands at 174, with the remaining 280 or so people still missing, and the search operation is still going on.
And earlier in the day, we did hear from the president saying that all of the rescue operations should be finished by sundown. Of course, it's much well after that. How are rescue operations going now?
Well, the government is in all-out efforts to save people's lives, and President Park Geun-hye and Defense Minister Kim Kwan-jin have ordered that all Navy and Coast Guard and nearby vessels help with the efforts. Dozens of ships and 18 aircrafts, along with hundreds of specialized forces and scuba divers, are actively searching for survivors. However, rescue operations are getting more difficult as the night goes on. However, the Coast Guard said it will keep searching for survivors.
Ji-won, give us some details about the time when the ferry actually started to sink.
Well, the survivors say it was around 8:30 that the ferry decided to set off, and it wasn't long after that the passengers heard a loud bang sound, and the ship suddenly started to tilt by 60 or 70 degrees. And let's listen to what survivors say about the moment.
I screamed for 30 to 40 minutes in the ferry. Things were falling and people were sliding down the ship.
The waves were calm when the ferry set off. Then all of a sudden the ship felt like it flipped on its side violently. People were cornered and they couldn't get out of their cabins because they couldn't open the doors. The ship tilted by 60 degrees and slowly inclined to 90 degrees before capsizing, and that was when I was rescued.
Well, Ji-won, considering that this happened earlier in the day and with all of the rescue forces, the ships, the helicopters, all of them rushing to the scene, the number of missing people still seems quite high. I hear that there have been criticisms about announcements in the ship telling passengers to stay where they were. How did that contribute to the situation now?
Yes, the survivors say they were instructed to stay indoors, and the announcement kept going on, and that seems to have caused more people trapped in their cabins. And the Coast Guard said there is high possibility that the passengers may have gotten trapped when the power was cut off after the ship suddenly tilted.
Well, earlier in the day, the reported number of people rescued was much higher, giving hopes to families and the entire nation. Why was there a sudden change of that figure?
Well, up until 3 in this afternoon, the number of missing people were known to be around 100 and less than that. But the government had a briefing at 4 p.m. saying the actual number of missing people were at nearly 300, much higher than the earlier figure because there were errors in counting the rescued. About 200 people were double counted, causing the confusion in the figure. And let's take a look.
The reason for the confusion in the number of rescued people, the reason it was revised down from the earlier figure of 368 to the current 164, is because some of those who were rescued were counted twice.
So, are there any indications on what caused the accident?
Well, we don't know any clear confirmed facts as of now, but we should note that the ferry was driven by a backup captain, and the original captain was on vacation, and the ship set off later than its expected schedule due to heavy fog. So the substitute captain changed the ship's route to try and arrive at the destination, Jeju Island, on time. And we also note that the sinking site was known to be filled with rocks. So let's listen to what an expert Jung Yeon-chul, professor of the Navigation Science, Korea Maritime and Ocean University, has to say about this.
I think the highest possible reason for the sinking is its crashing into unidentified rocks. The site of the accident is pretty close to the shore, so I believe unidentified rocks may have caused the sinking. We can also suspect other reasons for the cause of the accident, like an explosion inside the ship. That might have caused the sinking.
And officials say the next step of the recovery will be the use of 3 giant floating cranes to begin lifting the vessel.
All right, Jiwon, thank you for that report, and do keep us updated in our next newscast.